What is up, everybody? It's Ryan here, or Rhinos, whatever you would like to call. I want to do a completely in-depth overview and my thoughts on the 2011 Arctic Cat, or sorry, 2012. But once again, there's no real consumer review of this sled. I mean, there's the guys that reviewed these sleds for magazines and shit, and you know, they hype up the sleds a lot, and they don't really give you a real consumer review about what it is and like any problems they had and stuff. So these sleds retail for about $13,000, and they all come with a small windshield. So if you want a bigger windshield with mirrors, you're looking at like a $250 upgrade, roughly. There, a little tip for anybody that hasn't seen one of these yet: there's absolutely no storage on the whole sled, and that's something that you would need to get right away if you want to put stuff on it. So what I got was a goggle bag here, but I can use it for multi-purpose stuff, cords and the toolkit and stuff. It uses magnets around the sides and then a lock to lock it. Intakes are here on both sides. Just give them a wipe the snow off before you start it, if there is snow on it. Right away, something else you should be getting is these guards for the shocks. They protect the shock from getting rock cuts or anything like that, and that's highly recommended. It's no different than a dirt bike, motocross bike, or anything. Suspension's really good, amazing. It's a Snow Pro, so it's got the Fox floats. I guess it's Float 2. I'm guessing it has a second generation of Fox floats. Yeah, this cord back here is just a trickle charger, like trickle, not triple. Just so I can plug it in and have the battery always, or I guess it could be called a battery tender. So it always keeps the battery charged. When you're going through lots of powder, this mud flap likes to stay like that, just like that. It's kind of bullshit. I don't like that, but whatever. It's got a Fox float shock in the rear, and also a Fox, I'm going to say, gas shock with the spring, and then the Fox float back here. Really nice design with the aluminum and the rails and everything. What else can I say? Your oil level check is right there. It's a little plug you can see. What do I think about it so far? So far it's amazing. Sweet sled. The only problem I have is this stupid boot cut. The sled doesn't even have 200 kilometers on it yet, and it's broken, which is a real piss off. I don't know, I don't think I hit anything. It must have ripped, I don't know why. Headlights are completely out of adjustment. That needs to be done, and I'm not sure how to do it actually. I'll have to look in the manual or something like that. You got electric start, which is a given. So there's a 4-stroke. Electric reverse. You can get heated seat, but this one does not have it. The cooling system on this sled is really interesting. What they've done is you can actually go up underneath it. See that? So the cooling is actually brought down a bit, and then about halfway down it goes back up in the tunnel. So this means you can get snow and water, or snow and ice above it, so it's extra cooling. Cool design so far. Don't know how it's gonna hold up. It's got a 1.5-inch lug track, an LED tail light that's bright as hell, which is good. Go through some of the electronics on it. It's got the they call it the deluxe gauge, whatever. You can move it up and down depending on your riding style. I'm just using the spare key right now, if I can get it. It's also got a cigarette lighter here. Or, I wouldn't say cigarette lighter, more like 12 volt accessory. So you can also turn the sled off with a kill switch, and it'll turn off the whole gauge and everything, but they say it looks like the sled's up, but really it's still taking power, so like very small amount, but it can drain your battery. Gauge does this little sweep, and then yeah, so you can turn off the sled by the kill switch, and it looks like everything's off, but it's really not. So here's the gauges. Sorry for the reflection. You've got your high beam oil pressure warning and your coolant warning. The coolant warning also comes on when the sled is cold, and there will be up in here, it'll say temperature and it'll flash just because it's cold, and it'll go away once you're ready to rock and roll when it's warmed up. So you can cycle through the time. If I can remember how to do this. Oh yeah, it's this one, I think. Yeah, so you can switch from time, altitude, and max altitude, what it's been at. And I think that's in meters right now. And the RPM is here right now, but you can switch that over. Oops. I think it needs to be running, but is your odometer down there? Hours, 6.5. Trip 2, your odometer. If you hold this, it shows your max RPM. That's what the sled maxes out at, 8,760. And you can change the kilometers an hour. So now this is showing kilometers, and this will be a rev gauge, like a tachometer. And the numbers correspond with what your RPMs are, because it's all digital, so it can change and vary what it shows. Like, well, that's not 20 kilometers now, that's 2,000 RPM, and that's 10,000, and that's 8,000, 6,000. So, and then if you just push this again, it now is now in RPM, and this is now 10, 20, 30, 40 kilometers. And you can also change it, so if I go like this and I hold it, now it is in miles an hour. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had to move the sled around and stuff. So I just cut the video off for that day, and now I am continuing with it the next day. So yeah, I did ride it last night. We had a lot of blowing snow, so it was fun to rip around the yard and stuff, and I actually got stuck pretty bad, and all I can say is, fuck, she's heavy, boys. I was stuck in a peculiar part, but fuck, there's no way you can lift that sled by yourself from the front end. Like, it's nothing like this sled, like fucking Skidoo 600 or that old 440. Like, these things are heavy, and the back end even pretty heavy, and since it's got such high suspension, I mean, it's hard to lift it above your waist, right? So, but I managed to get it out reversing and moving a little bit, shoveling a bit. But that could be something that you guys should be concerned about if you're, I don't know, young, really young, older. You know, it's pretty hard to lift these out. Depends what kind of riding style you do too. If you're just strictly trail, this thing's for you. But if you really want to like mountain ride and stuff, I don't know if I would go 4-stroke. I might, I don't know. It'd be a tough call. I think I would get the M1100 turbo and then juice that motor up a little bit more. But I don't know. Because I mean, when you got a truck like that, fuck, it's pretty hard to get stuck depending on what you're doing. But yeah. And so that was like my first little, that was the first time I got stuck. And good thing my brother was here at the MXZ. We were able to pull it with a rope a little bit, and 2 guys move it around, so it's good.